Hey, baby Braun Strowman, go fetch me another pan of tuna. That didn't even make sense, but I said it anyway.
Hey, don't. Worry about me eating Swedish fish right now. Welcome to the
Swedish
Film
fish.
Section podcast. Corey, Chris, and Mark. And today we're talking about a bunch of stuff, mainly involving Ty West.
It's a Ty West fest, if you will.
Oh shit!
Oh shit.
Ty West Festival.
So Mark, I gotta throw it me and you definitely liked X quite a bit, but what particularly made you want to make this podcast Ty West centric?
Yeah, I honestly, after the Pearl trailer came out, um, I was like, all right, I need to rewatch X because I had seen X in the theaters, back in March when it came out, and I loved it. Like, I think at the time, even I said, like, this really might be my favorite, Ty West movie. And then I rewatched it again the other day, and, really I was just like, I just really want to fucking talk about this movie. um
Oh yeah.
and I was, at first I was thinking like, well, maybe I can do like a will it be a classic episode, and then I was sort of like, no, because I know like one of Chris's favorite movies like just ever is House of the Devil. um and so, and like,
I mean,
you know,
for good reason though.
yeah,
It's
oh
not
yeah,
like.
like, and I mean, again, honestly, Chris is really the one that really introduced me to Ty West with that movie when we did our episode in season 1 for House of the Devil. And I remember saying in that episode just how like authentic that movie felt, and how it, honestly, for the first couple of minutes I was having a hard time figuring out, or like having a hard time believing that the movie was made in like the mid 2000s or whatever.
Yeah.
And because it looks like a late 70s early 80s horror movie.
I mean, outside of that though, you got to admit it's probably one of the best slow boiler horror movies. Like not just for Ty West, but like really of like the last 20 years. You know what I mean? Like I haven't seen another movie since that's kind of like recaptured that, where it's like how fucking creepy the first half of the movie is. So
Sort of. I mean, I mean that I feel like that's so subjective, especially now because there's just so many slow burn horror movies
oh
that
yeah,
come out
yeah.
now. But I mean, I
I
will
mean
say
for the
it's
time though.
definitely, to me, it is hands down the most authentic feeling horror movie that I've seen in a long time, just because of how well it's shot, and how watching House of the Devil, I mean, we'll get into X in a minute, but like watching House of the Devil, it's sort of like, again, like as I said, like you have a hard time like separating the fact that this movie was made really only a couple of years ago, that this movie really wasn't filmed back, like it looks and
Yeah.
feels like a movie that just sat on the shelves for like
X
30
X
years before they decided to put it out.
if he films a movie in the 70s, it always looks like it took place down the road from the house from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh
You know what
yeah,
I
it's
mean?
definitely got
Like
that
it's not
vibe
like,
to it.
there's no like dissertation. Like it's such like good representation of like what films looked like back then, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, and it's also, I think I like how Ty West does it because it's not hitting you over the head with like, hey, this is the 80s, look how 80s everything is, or hey, this is the 70s, look how 70s it is. It's very much like it's just in the
Hey,
attitude, it's in the aesthetic, it's in like no one is saying like, man,
hey,
it's so
did we
crazy
mention
that
that Boston is a thing?
what?
Did we mention that Boston is a thing?
Yeah, so it's sort of it
70.
like I like Ty West's approach
Shut up, Corey.
to
That wasn't funny.
nostalgia, I guess. Um
Yeah. I mean,
Oh,
here's the thing though. He's a filmmaker that if he's filming, whether he's like it takes place like, 40 years ago, if it takes place now, he knows his you know, he knows his audience. He knows his how his characters are supposed to act in like whatever period.
well,
So
he does something with his characters, and I guess let's just get into X. X is probably the first slasher movie. You could qualify it as a slasher movie, right?
yeah.
So is
it's definitely a slasher movie, dude.
is the
Yeah,
first
definitely.
slasher
Yeah.
movie.
Dude, it's definitely a slasher.
It's
I
the
mean,
first.
it's a slasher the same way Texas Chainsaw is. Like
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it is a slasher, but you can be like, oh no, it has like bigger points to make, but and
Um.
it does. But
So
at the end of the day, I would definitely consider it a slasher.
so it's the first slasher movie I've seen in a while that um that I actually like the characters. Like I don't like I'm not just waiting for the characters to, kind of get their comeuppance,
You're like, I already can't wait for this guy to die. There's
Yeah,
none of that. None of that in this movie. No, I noticed that. That was definitely different
like the
for
characters
me.
are they're likable in the sense that they feel very real. Like they're not overly likable characters, but they're not unlikable at the same time. They are
The best.
clearly people, the characters that they're portraying are people that are working in the adult film industry and that want to break out. And that is very much how they act. And so it feels very true. I mean, I keep saying the word authentic, but it's like it feels very like this is how these people would actually act. Like they're not mean, they're not, very disingenuous people. They're just people.
The best way to put it is they're growers, or they're growers, not showers. Like, and that's appropriate because it's a porn like based movie, but you learn to like them like over time because at first they're like very like they're so generic when you first meet them. Like in the first
Except
like
for Mia Goth's
I'm
character.
not I don't mean like on the nose, but like for the most part they're kind of generic, but as it goes on they all like literally every single one of these characters becomes fleshed out.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I think it's every single character, maybe with the exception of like Kid Cudi's character, kind of has a little bit of an arc where Jenna Ortega's character starts from kind of like the church mouse as they called her to now she wants to be in the film. The Brittany Snow's character, at first you think she's kind of bitchy, kind of like in it for herself, and then at the end of the movie you see that she's kind of nice. Like she's actually not a bad person. Like she wants to
She
help
is so
Pearl.
sweet to when she sees when she sees Pearl like strip naked, she immediately acts like a nurse, which is
Yeah.
very sweet. Yeah, people like always point that out.
Uh,
Uh,
and then I mean Mia
can I
Goth's
point out the
character.
irony in you saying that Kid Cudi doesn't have an arc? Because holy shit, he has the biggest arc in the movie. If
My God.
catch him my fucking swing here.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, he's got that dude. Holy shit, dude! Like that had to be a prop, right? KMB do that?
Oh shit!
Oh
Dude,
my God.
like, dude, sorry, that's all I could think about when you said like or Cootie or Kitty didn't have
Cuddy.
like a fucking arc. It was like it's like yeah. Sorry, I had to make that joke. But
But
I know exactly what you're saying though. Like
um,
the characters, all this, they all have like at the end of like, and it sucks that it's by the time most of them die, they seem to be really decent people or
oh
really
yeah,
decent. Like
um,
you know
yeah, they
that
all
just
in
being a porn star doesn't make you an asshole.
No,
Right.
and I think that's something that this movie I think does a good job because I think, if you are someone who just reads the plot synopsis of this movie, or if you're someone that only watches a trailer, you're just like, oh, it's a slasher movie slash porno. And it's like that's not really what the movie is. The movie is a lot more about uh, being kind of proud of like your own skin. It's a very sex positive movie for sure, but it's very like self assurance kind of a thing.
Kind
You
of
know, I mean, you have
kind of rubbing your
Maxine,
shit in other people's faces.
yeah, like you have like Maxine's character played by Mia Goth, who, throughout the movie, says, you know, I will not accept a life I do not deserve, which it has a couple of different meanings throughout the movie when when things start getting unraveled, but it is sort of that saying really kind of goes for everyone where it's everyone wants to be very comfortable in their own skin, and I think that's something that we see with Jenna Ortega's character. As when they start, she's very reserved, she's very like, you guys are just filming a dirty movie, this is smut. And then she goes to, I want to be in the movie, like I want to be a star, I want to be, someone that's sort of fawned over. And I think that's it. I don't know what that just said.
Hey, hello, welcome back.
Chris, Chris Eggert here, just wondering what the fuck's going on.
I'm eating Swedish fish.
Ish.
Yeah. So I don't really know where this cut off. It might cut off again, honestly. I don't know what's going on with
God
my
fucking
laptop.
damn it.
Huh?
I said, God
You mean,
fucking damn it.
you mean there's a chance that when I'm describing how much I like the fuck scene in in X that it might cut off at some point?
Yes.
Yes.
Um,
All right. Well, yes, someone was discussing X because we were getting into it.
yeah.
Yeah. Apparently. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when I first heard, oh, that's right. I was talking about how it's a very like self positivity kind of thing. Um, People sort of are like comfortable with who they are, comfortable with what they want to do with their bodies and want to do with their life. And it's sort of this thing of like, um, a lot of it comes down to with these characters of no one else can tell me what I can do with my life but me. We see that with Jenna Ortega's boyfriend trying to stop her, and she's like, no. Obviously, we see that with Brittany Snow when her and Jenna Ortega's character are talking in the beginning of the movie, and Jenna Ortega's character is like, "Is that your boyfriend?" referring to Kid Cudi, and Jenna Ortega is just like, "Sometimes." Um, I don't know. I think it's a very positive movie despite its subject matter, I guess. Which I kind
It's
of,
positive. None of them are bad people. Like, you know what I mean? Like, even I think the shadiest character is the guy who's actually like the producer himself. I forgot his name in the movie. He's the dude from the Ring. You know what I mean? He's a guy who's producing. He's dating
yeah,
what's their face in the
yeah,
movie when they go in.
yeah,
I think he's like probably if you want to like say like the shadiest of all of them because he is kind of an asshole and they like mentioned that he left his wife for Mia Goth
yeah.
like
I mean,
but this is what I'm talking about though. It's like you said, like even if any of these people seem like half people or like like kind of shady people at some point, then like by the end of the movie, and unfortunately, a lot of the times before they die, they seem like really decent people. Uh, Kid Cudi, I thought actually like he dove into the water where he knew like a alligator might be because he saw a flashlight, um, like floating in the water because he thought the old man might have fallen in. Like, and then the old man himself ends up killing him. That's actually like,
Hmm.
kind of fucked up, like in a lot of ways, because he was actually like a lot of these people, like they're very likable by the time the second act comes around.
Yeah, and then old people fuck. Ugh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that they do.
Um, yeah, which I mean, I think is again, it's sort of about the old people stuff. I mean, I know, a lot of people are like, ew, but I do think the storyline with Pearl and sort of what she's sort of going through, which I think
I
will
mean,
probably be explained a lot more in the movie, but
just from seeing that trailer for Pearl, I know a lot more about that character
Mhm.
already.
Well, I mean, you kind of learn a lot about her in X. Like, I know it's all like subtext, but like when she first meets her and she's bragging about how like, oh, I used to be beautiful just like you, and like she's like, I used to dance and like all that other shit,
Mhm.
and she comes on to I know it's Maya Goth like playing off herself or whatever, but like in that scene though, like you can tell she's almost like envious, or she is like envious of her, and that's like the whole like point of X. Like, I know it takes place so many years after Pearl's going to, but that's like the whole point. Like, it's like, oh, you're rubbing your youth in our face, so I'm gonna fucking kill you for it, which is kind
Yeah.
of like symbolism for a lot of slasher movies that have come out over the last 40 years.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the way, I mean, yeah, like I think it's the way I perceived it in X was Pearl is, envious. She,
Yeah.
she sees Maxine and thinks, she's beautiful and remembers back to a time when she was beautiful, sees that I think when she sees the sex scene that Mia Goth has, she, at that point afterwards, she kind of goes to her husband and is like, hey, like, are you DTF or what? And I think that she, Pearl wants to feel beautiful. She wants to feel wanted,
Yeah.
and so I
Yeah.
think, that's how I perceived her character in
Well,
X, and I think that's sort of what Pearl is going to be about too. Is Mia Goth's character in Pearl wanting to be wanted? Like I think that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
at one point, her husband says, because they find the one dude in the basement with his fucking pants down. Like, God knows what they fucking did to that guy. But like he even says, her husband says, like, to the military dude, like before he kills him, he's like, you're flaunting it from my wife, just like that last guy did. Like
Yeah.
he thinks they're flaunting it, and Pearl like kind of wants it. You know what I mean? Like, Pearl wants in on the action, like, so to speak.
Right.
uh
Yeah.
I mean, not like literally, but like she's very envious, while the husband is just like gives a shit about his wife and would do anything for her. uh I think that's like probably like the dynamic there.
Hmm.
um Again though, like, what's her face, Megagoth, like she's really good like in both like parts. Like, I
Oh, she's
really like
great.
her as like the kind of, and you get her more like by the end of the movie with like the preacher and everything. Like, this was our daughter. It's like, oh, she had like parents like those. That's why she's like this.
Yeah.
Like, I
Yeah.
kind of got it from that. It's like, okay, that's cool.
Raised in almost. I mean, it's clearly like very Baptist,
Yeah, I can
almost
see her. I
very
could
like almost
definitely see her.
cultist religious sort of thing that she came
Yeah,
from.
she's like rebelling from her parents. I totally like it. When that happened, I was like, okay, I get it now. I get
Who
it.
hasn't rebelled against their parents
Yeah,
and wanted to
but
be a porn star? I mean, come
she's
on, we've
mentioned
all
it though,
done it.
like in that line,
Shit.
like, I won't
I
take a
know I
life I
did.
don't deserve or whatever. It's like all right, I get it then. All
No,
right.
I started doing coke in the back of strip clubs.
Yeah. No, she like takes like a hit of
Dude, I
coke.
used
She's like,
to,
God,
yo,
she's like, God bless us all, motherfucker.
I used to snort a big line of coke and then fucking give my dick to Indian brush burn in front of the mirror while I talk to myself. I did that all the fucking time, dude.
I mean, it's like
Dirk
who
Diggler,
doesn't though?
you're a star.
It's a, you know,
I'm a fucking
I was,
star.
I'm a
I was so happy to learn that that was a prosthetic. There's no way that man deserves to have a penis that large.
yeah. They had to help him on the set.
Wheel him in.
He's like in a wheelchair and he has like two guys helping him up. Like,
Just have a guy walking in
off
front
camera,
of him.
off camera, there's wires propping him up for the
You know-
silhouette shot.
You know how at a wedding, like some people hold the back of the bride's dress? There's like three dudes in front of him just holding his dick like 4 feet away.
Why did we use titanium? God damn it. Oh shit. But yeah,
Yeah, baby.
like I mean, it's basically what I'm saying. Like it's a very layered slasher flick and probably one of the best of the last at least few years. I don't want to say like last 10 years, but
Oh, for sure.
I would definitely say it's one of the best of the last decade since 2012.
you
would
could. Like, I'm
definitely
not
say
saying
that.
don't say that. Like, I'm, just
Like, is it the best? Probably not, but it's I would say it's in the conversation for top 5.
straight up unique. Like there's not you can definitely argue there's not another slasher film like this, at least in the last like couple decades.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? It's very like,
So
it's
I was telling him when we had our difficulties that I watched that Pretty Little Liars Original Sin, and one of the girls in the movie is like a fucking film buff or whatever, and she was she had a line where she was talking about Ari Aster films, and she said, "Come on, Hereditary has its flaws, or Midsummer has its flaws, but Hereditary's a perfect classic." And I was kind of like, "All right, okay." I was like, this show's a little smarter than it should be.
Was the girl wearing a bikini when she said, you know what I mean? Like when you described
no, no, she was like she's just a normal chick. She wasn't wearing a bikini.
I thought, well, no, like, when you
mean,
describe those shows, it's like, they're all sitting on a beach and one of them happens to be a movie aficionado because some guy that actually has seen the movies.
I guess the show was done by the people that did Riverdale, so it's like pretty dark and shit.
Okay.
The way it looks and stuff like that. It definitely looks like a horror movie or show. Well, like, I guess it has a basic premise of Pretty Little Liars, where it's like there's a group of mean girls and there's I don't know. My girlfriend was trying to explain to me because she watched that show. I did not, and I was like, all right, I see why they did this. But
and like
pretty cool.
I've never seen it, but like when you like pop up shit on Amazon Prime, they like play that trailer and whatever. And it has the same font as Friday the 13th.
What?
I've had a couple of girlfriends in the past that are very big Pretty Little Liars fans. So they would have me watch a couple of episodes, and I gotta be honest, some of the episodes that I watch, like the show is very I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah.
Just with like popular. It's like Mean Girls meets I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yes.
Oh,
absolutely.
That actually sounds kind of.
It's not bad.
Really
it's kind of cool. It
I mean, I
you guys are gonna
we are all
me
talking
into,
over each other. The couple episodes that I saw were actually pretty good.
I was gonna say you guys are gonna turn me into a Pretty Little Liars fan here. That doesn't sound like a bad premise.
No, I mean, again,
pretty good.
I heard that it's it was an ABC Family show, so like it's not the cream of the crop with writing or acting or anything like that, but just premise wise alone, it's interesting. And there's some I remember one episode that I watched was they went into it was like a toy uh store or like a puppet store or some shit like that, like after hours, and so it was like kind of like a weird, it was just creepy, like all like the toys and like were acting strange, and it was like this is a straight up horror show.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would definitely say like give it a shot. Is it great? No, but is it fun? Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be great to be entertaining.
Right.
What other so do you guys have any other Ty West movies that you like?
Well, I
Ty-
mean, House of the Devil we've talked about,
Oh yeah,
but
we
have you seen? I think it's The Revenant, the one that's basically like a Jonestown found footage movie.
yeah, I saw that.
That's really good.
That was pretty good.
Or I mean, it's very, very imperfect, and it's talking about something that actually happened. So you can definitely make those points of like,
is it
like
called The Revenant though? Because I'm pretty sure that's a Leo DiCaprio movie.
What the hell is it? It's not
The
the Revenant.
Revenant. Dude, just type in Ty West like movies.
The
The
Sacrament.
Reverend.
The
The
Sacrament.
Sacrament. Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
okay. Sorry.
That's it. Yeah, the Sacrament.
Ty
That's a
Ty
good
West
one.
fights the bear in
It
it,
is a
right?
good one.
I mean, Ty West also directed, or did
Wait,
he?
have either of you seen that movie?
I have, yeah.
Like,
The
yeah, like
Sacrament? No, I haven't seen it.
I have. It was good.
well, dude, like, yeah, it's definitely recommended, dude, especially if you like a lot of his earlier work. Like it's found footage, but it's very it's like pretty well done found footage. And it's got like a couple all the acting in it is like crazy solid. The thing is it just looks like it's very like small budgeted, but
Yeah.
it doesn't really like affect
Yeah.
I remember he directed The Innkeepers, and
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
like I think that's my least favorite movie by him.
it's not bad.
Yeah,
It's definitely like eerie as
It's not
fuck.
bad.
It's got a very eerie tone throughout the whole movie. I really liked.
Yeah.
It's also got a really good jump scare in it, kind of towards like the middle end of it. That's really good.
It's not. I don't think it's a bad movie at all. I just don't like it that much. No, my least favorite is definitely Cabin Fever too, but he disowns that movie.
Yeah, well, he
like
did. He
everyone
only
should.
directed like half of that, though, didn't he?
Yeah. There was a lot
like
of
it's
problems. There's a lot of
I'm pretty
problems.
sure anything good in that movie that you saw was his, and then all like
Right.
the complete dog shit was his all.
Yeah.
Didn't he also directed? I think a portion of VHS.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's like one of the segments or something in VHS.
Yeah.
At least on one of them, one of the four.
Yeah, which I mean, VHS is one of my favorite found footage movies. I'm sure we'll probably do that.
Here's the thing, I loved VHS 94. I loved all the segments, but the fucking wraparound sucked.
I mean, that's
Yeah,
kind
and
of
that-
how,
that kind of
except
like-
for the
That's like
first
an anthology
VHS,
thing,
all the
I still
wraparounds
think
were
it's a fucking great anthology. Just the
Oh,
wraparound
yeah.
was
it's hard to do that. Like there aren't many anthology films that have a really good wraparound.
yeah.
Like,
know,
I think
They can't all be body bags.
I
That's
think
right,
All
that's right.
Hallows Eve, or what is it? Tales of Halloween is a really good horror anthology.
Oh yeah, I like that one too, man.
Obviously,
Dude,
Trick or Treat is amazing.
You know what? You know what movie had a great fucking wraparound was that one that came to Shudder? The Mortuary Tales or what?
I still haven't even. I have all these free 1 month subscriptions.
dude,
I have like
Mark.
Oh, I
five
know what
of
you're
them.
talking about.
Mark.
Yeah,
I have like
the one
five
Dude,
of them, and I just haven't
you would
used them.
definitely like that. I would
I
say
know
next
that I would
Halloween.
love Shudder. I just haven't bothered. I don't know. I have so many other.
Mark, I swear, dude, I swear.
you need to
Next
spend some time
Halloween,
on
next
Shudder,
time you're
my
bored,
guy.
if you're ever on like around next Halloween and you're like, oh fuck, I have nothing to watch that. Holy fuck, dude.
Well, I don't know
swear
if
to
I'd
God,
ever be in that boat
fun.
where I have nothing to watch.
My guy.
I mean,
I don't know what you're doing with your life that you don't have Shudder.
I know what you're saying. I'm
You
busy,
would lose your mind in Shudder.
I know I would. I've had Shudder before a couple years ago when it was like just starting out.
we kicked down the door to his apartment, and he's like floating in the air, like in Indian position, watching
we,
Shutter.
we bust into his apartment, beat him up, start subscribing him to
Mark,
services. Like, here, Mark, get your
coming with the
goddamn
priest.
Shutter, get your fucking Shutter membership. What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, pin him to the couch, fucking start pressing play on movies and shit.
We come in with the priest. Father Daniel, he's been like this for days. It's like, all right, get out of here.
What did you guys do?
But so let's what scene from X, aside from the old people fucking, was your favorite scene?
Man.
My favorite scene was actually in the beginning where Maya Goth's character is swimming in the lake, and you see a alligator slowly close in on her, and she has no idea of it. Like, I mean, there's so many like great shots past that. I just thought that was like great suspense.
Oh yeah.
You know, without even trying. Like that's probably you can say it's my favorite, but I have so many other like favorite scenes in it that like it kind of, it doesn't necessarily overshadow it. I think that was just really like, especially for a movie like this, a really fucking cool scene.
It's a great
Great
scene.
suspense without even trying.
This sounds really bad, but mine is the scene when they bring in Jenna Ortega to star in the movie.
It's very.
I think
It's
it's
very like.
I think it's more the development of that character as like sort of like a shy, sort of mousy character. It's like you're essentially watching her like become her own person.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like free to do what she wants and shit.
Yeah, I mean,
and then that's just the culmination of it, which is I like that part.
Chris, I gotta ask you though, like, do you think that bites her in the ass on the end? Because she does get killed, like after acting like she gets saved by Maya Goth's character. After like she's been like trapped in a basement, like had her fingers like fucking hammered in and shit. Like afterwards, she's just like, "You guys are a bunch of fucking sick pieces of shit. I wish I never met you." Blah blah blah. And then she runs out and gets shot in the head.
Well, yeah.
Realistically, wouldn't you probably do the same? If you were
yeah, like
character,
that's like the thing about this movie that like still kind of perplexes me. It's like, okay, yeah, she opened herself up a bit, but in a sense, did that kind of bite her in the ass? Because if her boyfriend never like left or whatever, or would have like Pearl would have had to come in there and they all would have noticed it, whatnot. Like she wouldn't, because every time like somebody
died.
Dude, every time somebody gets killed in this movie, they get caught off guard.
Yeah, but I still think, regardless if she had been in the movie or not, I think I think everyone except for Maxine was basically destined to die in this movie.
Yeah,
I think that's just how. No matter if Jenna Ortega did decide to go into the movie or not, there still would have been a different way where she would have either gotten killed by Pearl or gotten killed by the.
Her bolting, because she bolts out of the house and she gets caught by Howard with the shotgun as soon as she like hits the porch. Again though, like, dude, it kind of sucks because she's one of those characters you kind of wanted to see like live through the end of the movie. She seems like one of the few likable ones aside from the whole like, oh, I want to do a porno shit. Like she wasn't. I don't think she was necessarily trying to hurt her boyfriend with that, but was trying to like open herself up.
Yeah, and I mean she even says to the executive producer guy that like she didn't want to hurt him, and and I think also because it's Jenna Ortega, for horror fans, there's kind of this built-in like we already like her because because it's Jenna Ortega and she's just awesome in everything that she's in. So I think as horror fans, we like instinctually are gravitated towards her, kind of like Adam Sandler in Uncut Gems, where they might not be a likable person, but it's still Adam Sandler, so we still root for him.
Yeah, I mean, the movie sets you up to want that guy to like, because you watch him in that movie, and it's just like everything he does is fucked up, goes wrong,
Mm-hmm.
and just puts him in a worse position.
Yeah.
And then at the end, during the whole fucking masterfully done end scene, um, you're rooting for him. And you've watched this guy be pretty much a piece of shit the whole movie, but you're like, man, I hope he gets out of this. This is fucking what a terrible run for this guy.
Right.
Hopefully, like you're like you see him calling the shots and shit. You're like, man, this guy knows his sports. He's back to his fucking original setting, his comfort level, fucking basketball, sports betting. Like all this other shit that happened with the fucking diamonds and all this wild shit that he was kind of like really gambling on. He was
Mm-hmm.
back to the sports. He was back to fucking where he felt comfortable betting sports and fucking man, god damn it, that movie.
I mean,
So
you always
fuck.
root for characters like that. Like it's impossible not to. You know what I mean? Like you're always. I mean, despite of like the like genre of movie you're watching, like if there's a character like that, and it's like, yeah, come on, man. Like whenever they even they talk, it's like you kind of react to it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So is there a specific kill in this movie? Because there are some
Mm.
really good kills and some really
The
cool gory.
alligator
Like, is
scene
there
was
a
definitely unique.
yeah? Is there anyone in the movie that uh like stood out to you as like made you kind of wince, made you cheer, made you laugh, made you whatever?
Uh, Again, like I literally just said, like the alligator scene, like that kind of didn't necessarily you kind of saw it coming. That was cool, but I'm trying to think. Some scenes are more like impactful than others. Like when Howard shoots the military dude like in his chest or whatever. That's you kind of see it coming, and like that scene's kind of scary because he flashes a flashlight on Howard, and you see like what he looks like for the first time. Like he almost looks like a Halloween mask. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's like what he looks like.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but when he shoots him, it's like, and he's like being like, "Oh, you're flaunting your shit in front of my wife," just like that last guy did. Uh, when he shoots, that's like impactful. If you're talking about like actual kills, though, um, I do like how Pearl gets killed. Pearl and Howard get killed because Howard like kind of collapses on the floor due to whether they were fucking before or the sound of the shotgun got to him. But Pearl literally goes flying like through the screen door off the porch onto the ground, and then she gets her head run over by a car. That was pretty fucking awesome. And I think Mia Goth has an awesome line when she says that. She was like, "Oh, it'll be our little secret," like because she's calling her a whore the entire time.
Yeah.
Uh, I thought those were cool. Did you guys have any?
Definitely the alligator for me. It's the one
Yeah,
that
yeah.
popped out.
Well, I mean, because you kind of saw it coming, but at the same time, when it happens, it's like, oh shit.
Well, it's the what's the term? It's not is it Schrodinger's gun? Is that what the term is? Of like in cinema, like if you see a gun on screen, you know at some point it's gonna go off.
Yeah,
Um, which is the same thing for the alligator. They in a horror movie, you see that alligator, so throughout the movie, you know that alligator is killing somebody. You just don't know who. And so when it finally happens, when I saw that scene, I'm not even gonna laugh in the theater. In the theater, I laughed. I was like, I audibly was like, oh my god, like what, like because it was
well,
comical.
dude,
The fact that
it's
Pro
so
just her in
there's no music, there's nothing, there's just
so quick.
it's like as an audience, you're like, hey, dumbass, hey, it's almost like one of those like I mean, not calling like my Gauss character a dumbass, but like you're doing that, and it's just like, hey, behind you, behind you, behind you.
Yeah, for sure. Um,
Yeah, it was so good.
I I think my favorite kill well, I mean my favorite kill is definitely the same one as yours, Corey, when Mia Goth kills Pearl and like runs her over. Um and I don't know why, but Mia Goth putting the finger, doing like the shush thing is awesome. Like it just looks so cool in that last scene when she's like bloodied up in the overalls and she looks at Pearl and just goes like that. I'm like, that's fucking, I don't know why. It just looks awesome. But I loved the I love when RJ gets killed when Don't Fear the Reaper is blasting and
Yeah,
everything goes
dude.
red. I
He,
think that's such a
dude,
beautiful scene.
he doesn't get his throat slit. He gets stabbed in the neck so many times his head comes off.
Yeah, like
Holy
it. Yeah,
shit.
it is
Like, yeah,
graphic. Um,
it's so brutal. Like I was not expecting the movie to like have this like level of brutality. And
yeah.
it's good that, I mean, it's, good that it did, because, it definitely adds to it. Um, but yeah, I definitely get what you're saying though. Like, and it's oddly like artful too, because she starts like, it's almost like she's remembering who she used to be.
Well, she does the Joker dance.
Yeah, well,
It's like the same dance that Joker does in the bathroom. It was kind of freaking me out because she even does like the arm things and everything. And I'm like,
yeah. But it's the first time, like it has to be the first time Pearl's danced in like
years.
possibly decades, like,
Yeah,
and that's why she's becoming so murderous. And maybe that's kind of why the prequel coming up
Making her
like
feel
has
young
such
again, man.
yeah.
yeah, dude, it's like it reinvigorated her youth. Like,
Yeah,
she gets in the bed with Maya Goth naked. It's like, why not?
fuck it.
Fucking uh but yeah, dude, like all the kills are solid. When the dude from the ring, again, it's been a few months since I've actually seen this movie, so I don't actually know a
The
lot of these
executive
characters.
producer character, the one that's dating Mia Goth's character.
Yeah, like he steps on a nail and then gets like prodded in the eyes. That's kind of cool.
That's
I
a great
mean,
scene. When he
it's
steps on the
not
nail
particular.
is like because
It
it
kind of
looks
adds
so
to it.
realistic. It looks so
Yeah,
realistic when he steps on it, and it's not
he's
this
like, you
slow thing
motherfucker,
like showing you. It's just like
and he has a dickhead reaction to it too. It's like,
I hope I don't
yeah,
get
like
tetanus.
it adds to it. It adds so much like to every one of these kills, like even if they're not like original, they have something to them.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, dude, one of his best movies. You can always argue all day, like, oh, I like House of the Devil more. It's I'm not gonna, I think I like them both too much to be like, oh, I like this one much better.
I think
Uh
X you watch in the summer, House of the Devil
yeah.
you watch in the fall,
Yeah.
and
That's right.
that's
Yeah,
basically the only difference.
that's a good point. Per-
Um, but yeah, so with that, what how much time do we have? Okay. So with that, what do you guys want to see in Pearl? Like we saw the trailer, we know that's going to be pretty wild and Technicolor madness. But what are you
the same
hoping kind of
the
story-wise and
same
artistically from Ty West?
sorry, I would just say the same level of brutality that X had, only in a different setting and a different kind of tone. I mean, what's her face is like a really real, I think she's really good actress,
Oh, Mia
or
Goth, yeah.
actor, yeah, Mia Goth. She's like really good. So I think she'll nailed on the park, but the whole movie is going to be riding on her.
Oh, yeah.
You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
It's
definitely.
supposed to be
But
a
it would
trilogy
be
too.
cool. Well, I mean, uh, as long as it's, like I doubt it's going to be boring, but like it's like I said, it's all going to rest on her. But you want like kind of like you're expecting that same level of random brutality that you saw in X.
Yep. I
And
agree.
not it like even X isn't even like that. It does have some brutal moments, but it's not like a gore fest or anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Kind of like the original Texas Chainsaw. It's not like gore fest. It just kind of implies a lot of shit. Um, but yeah, dude, I just want it to be like an entertaining watch, just like X was.
Hmm.
Only for different reasons, obviously.
Yeah. Chris?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I can't really say more than what he said. Definitely. It's gonna be. I like that it should be in the vein of X, only with the way it looks. holy shit, that's gonna be
Yeah.
a visual fucking dream, dude.
Yeah.
Like, if
Yeah.
It looks
there are
beautiful.
clearly gonna be kills in this, and they're gonna be beautiful. Like, I can't wait. It looks really, really good. And Mia Goth, it looks. You said it looks like it has to rest on her shoulders, and I think it's going to. And I think it looks like she's gonna knock it out of the park. Honestly,
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm ready. I'm ready to check it. I'm ready to check that shit out for sure.
Yeah. Um,
Well, you.
yeah, I mean, pretty much echoing you guys. Like, I think it's, I just want it to be as engaging as X was, and I think it will be. And I mean, I think it's gonna be a gorgeous movie. I think Mia Goth is, as you guys said, I think she's gonna kill it. I think this is really gonna be, I think this trilogy with X, Pearl, and whatever the third movie is. I think we're gonna
XXX.
see Mia Goth become this like huge, huge name because I mean she's been in a lot of movies. She was in A Cure for Wellness, she was in High Life, she was in the Suspiria remake. So I mean she's done a lot of movies, but I think this trilogy is kind of the one where you're gonna see her really catapulted to sort of a lot of more mainstream audiences are gonna kind of know who she is. Which I'm
Dude,
excited for because I think she deserves it.
you know what might be cool though that comes out of all of this is like a big budgeted Ty West movie. You know what I mean? Like to see what he could do with like a big budget.
Yeah,
Like,
that
cause I
would be
mean,
cool.
because that did pull in like a profit and shit. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, it would be cool.
that
I would
gets
like to
people.
see I would like to see Ty West. I don't know. I would like to see Ty West tackle a studio movie, but I feel like like him in these, 1 to maybe $8 million movies. I feel like that's like his perfect playground because I feel
Yeah.
like the stories that he makes
Yeah,
and
I mean,
like it just works. I
it
mean,
is.
I would love to see him with a big budget and see what he could do with all and see how much he could do with it. Um,
He has that he has that John Carpenter aspect, but like it would be cool, like because he's a good filmmaker.
yeah.
Like House of the Devil proved that, X proved that. Even the a few of like his in between movies, like it shows he has like a skill for it.
Um,
So I mean,
I'd like to see
I'm
him
not
direct a
saying
remake of
he ever
Cujo.
will, because he is a very John Carpenter esque like director. Like he thrives on a low budget.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like that's like his best work.
yeah.
But
I'd like to see him do a remake of Cujo. I think he would be
oh,
Yeah.
awesome.
oh, oh,
I think
Yeah.
Cujo.
I think he would be awesome at doing a remake of Cujo
I
set in
cried.
the
I
80s.
cried when I read Cujo for the first time.
I
Like
don't know why. I
the
just feel like
very
he would be
ending.
able to do it perfectly.
Yeah. Definitely.
Well,
Um,
the end it when you read Cujo, it's like, oh, the dog would have died for his family. He just happened to get rabies. It's like, oh,
yeah.
Oh man.
Um,
like I
so,
hate that.
so we only got 2 minutes left. Do you guys
All
want to
right.
continue this or do you want to end it now?
Let's just get out of here.
All right.
Yeah,
Um,
let's get the fuck out of here, guys.
yeah. So we only
With the
have
new
one more episode this season, and then season 2 is over, and then we're gonna take a break because we are super busy. As anyone that watches our videos has seen with our release schedule, it's been all over the place.
I mean,
Um,
we got more consistent over the last month or so. So
yeah. But we do have one more episode after this, and we are talking about what I think all three of us agree is the best movie of the year, which is Everything Everywhere All at Once, is going to be our season 2 finale. Um, so yeah,
uh,
thank you to anyone that watches. Um,
thank you.
comment, like,
thanks,
subscribe,
thanks,
tell us how
guys.
stupid we are, tell us how annoying we are, tell us whatever the fuck you want. We really don't
Yeah.
care. We just want
Talk to us.
some sort of interaction because we literally get like 10 views on these videos. We need more. Um, but yeah, so I guess we'll see you guys next week for season finale.